pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. Roll call, please.
Procius.
Here.
Reichner.
Here.
Ister.
Here.
Barnhart.
Here.
Martina.
Here.
Few additions to the agenda. One is to add for a hire Eugene Golder for code office clerk, and that's under a vote and is under discussion. Story walk to the Deggenstein Library. Do I have a second to add those to the agenda?
I'll second.
Martina.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Reichner.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
There was an executive session held prior to tonight's meeting to discuss real property and personnel. Is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Any public comment on agenda items at this time? All right, moving on. Old business, there is none. New business, there is some. Light Fest, Victoria, update please.
Sure. Light Fest received a $2,000 grant from Rosenblum Foundation, which that goes for the Santa's Gift of Reading. So we will be at the PD trunk or treat this coming Saturday to give out books there. Decorating of the city will begin November 13th through the 17th. So my question is, we had previous discussion, and I'm not quite sure where we are. Gazebo lights for the gazebo in the park and down on Front Street. Is Light Fest purchasing those, or is that under Parks and Rec?
Well, I'll get with Carl. I know we were discussing, I'm not sure what style, so we'll hook up with one another.
Okay. Okay. Do they want to be up all year long, or do they want them down if they want to? All month, okay. I just wasn't sure. We have no issue doing that. That's what we want to do. Deer display, as we discussed before, Lake Tobias is no longer providing the deer. We are working with Green Horse Farm out of Dornsife, so the number ones will be sponsoring the deer from there, so we're just trying to work out those things. And I will be contacting the PA Agriculture because it is a switch from farms. They will have to do paperwork and all that good stuff, so we're working on that now. Santa Parade Friday, November 24th at 6 p.m. We're taking entries right now via jot form on the city website and the Lake Fest Facebook page. The Grand Marshal for the parade this year is the squeeze-in for all of their dedication to the city and the things they give back. We are taking youth elf volunteers for the parade in the Santa House. That's also via jot form sign up on the city website and the Facebook, and we only have a few spots left for that. Tree lighting will happen on the 24th at 6:30 p.m. with Mayor Bercius lighting the trees. Sunbury City Band will be there. Santa hours this year will be Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. or until usually about 7:30 it dies down. So Saturday, December 2nd is Santa Paws event at 8 a.m. And that is where folks can bring their animals. I prefer no slimy ones. And they must be leashed, so if they bring a snake, it must be on a leash, so that will be interesting. Last year we did have a horse that came to see us and stepped on my foot, but no worries, no big deal. But, and Sensory Santa, that is for individuals with intellectual disabilities, autism, or anything under that umbrella. That will begin at 10 a.m. Thursday, December 7th, late night shoppers, the Santa House will be open. Thursday, December 14th, Santa and the Deggenstein Library event. We will also be giving free books out there. That was written in the grant as well. Saturday, December 16th is Sunbury SantaCon. This is a new event this year sponsored by Iron Vines Winery is the main sponsor. And we have a bunch. So basically what the SantaCon is that we want folks to come out. The first 50 people that sign up will get a free t-shirt. It's $20 entry. And we want folks to dress up like Santa, elf, Christmas tree, gingerbread, whatever they want to dress up, Mrs. Claus, or Grinch, whatever, and we will travel from downtown business to downtown business. Many of them are going to be doing drink specials, appetizer specials. Iron Vines will have a band, entertainment, things like that. So we're wrapping up the details. That will be out through Eventbrite to purchase those tickets. Sunday, December 17th is the Ugly Sweater event at the ice rink from 4 to 6 p.m. We still have grant money left over from last year, so we'll be using the funds to complete that this year. December 22nd, will be the last evening for the Santa House, and the deer will be removed by December 28th. to prepare for you. The other thing we did is we reached out to the DBI officer, and all event flyers will be translated in Spanish for all the events I just mentioned, so that we were meeting the need of all of our residents in the city of Sunbury. That's all I have. Any questions? Nope. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria.
Yep.
And if you want to get us a list of those dates, that way we can post them on our website, social media sites, that way people have the date and plan to
Yep,
correct.
and I get the flyers right to Jeff and them, and they're already out on site, but we'll get that all done.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kurt, do you want to move, do you want to go now?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Nope, that's fine. I figured if you guys have to get out of here, do that.
No, we're gonna hang out for your meeting.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so it's been a pretty busy year for the sweep stewardship program for the kids. So just a real small update so far. So we have one date left, and that's in November. So far for this year, we generated 557 community service hours. We gained 141 volunteers. Out of that, 79 people were adults and 60 people were students who volunteered on the project this year. The volunteers removed 15 45-gallon trash bags throughout the year from the park, worth of trash and litter that were found with each of the volunteer days. Different organizations that's participated this year, of course, the sweep committee, Sunbury Department of Public Works, because we work with them to remove the brush and the garbage. I'm very thankful for all their assistance with their maintenance of cutting next to the trails and everything, keeping it open for the kids. Boy Scout Troop 333, Boy Scout Troop 610B, Girl Scout Troop 610G, and then Service Electric Cablevision employees came out this year to help us out. So what we need from you all is an approval to purchase a small educational sign that's going to be referencing this year's sweep stewardship program and the volunteerism that occurred, and then where the grant funding came from the Charles B. Davidson Foundation. And that will be paid for out of the remaining of the funding that we have for this year.
I'll go ahead.
Is there anything else you need?
Oh, yeah, and then we'll need an approval so that we can apply to the Charles and Betty Davidson Foundation to fund the 2024 stewardship program.
Go ahead.
I was gonna let you do it.
No, I was,
All right, I'll make the motion for both those, the purchase of the
The small educational sign?
set educational sign and also to apply for the grants well.
Barnhart.
yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
Ister.
All right, any questions?
Questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
I'll keep you posted on those trees then.
I'll mark them.
Okay.
All right, moving on here, for these next two, I'm gonna put them together, I'm going to table the appointment of the new chief and also the police chief contract. Do I have a second on that table?
Ister.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
And just to speak on that, this real briefly, like I said, it's gonna be, revisit that later here in the year, such as November, early December, and as I said, still Travis Bremer's still the active chief. Moving on here to removal of property 750 Edison Avenue from eminent domain. That was, everyone know that was the former cold storage at the corner of Edison and Packard. That's been purchased, it's being remodeled, so we want to take that off the eminent domain list. So I'll make that a motion to remove. Do I have a second?
Martinez.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
Ister. Barnhart.
Yes.
All right, moving on, in your folder, you will find the 2024 Sunbury holiday calendar in which the offices will be closed. And like I said, it's your normal holidays that we voted on for 2023. Is there any questions on that, anyone?
Sometimes just the choice that sometimes it is posted, I don't know if a lot of people know that the city is closed and half day prior to that. That also affects overtime in a lot of ways. Because I can't figure it in. Street crews not doing something, to do overtime.
So what do you, I mean, other than posting it, so what are you suggesting? I'm a little confused.
Well, I think there were some council members who did that as part of the.
Well, not to be rude, they should have read the personnel policy when it was created. Everything, all the changes were highlighted in red and highlighted in yellow. If they didn't take the time to read it, that, I can't help that. So, but if it's something, if we want to revisit it, we can happily revisit it.
I would suggest we
Well, then someone else can revisit it, because the last time when we did it 2 years ago, we spent like a couple weeks revising the whole entire thing, so someone else, yeah, well, like I said, I did weeks, but more of it was done prior, so. If anyone would like to revise it, they are more than happy to step up and put the time in to do so. Yes, sir.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Reichner.
Yes.
Ister.
All right, earlier, I think it was either this week or last week, Andres, in charge of the DEI, created a sticker that was sent out to everyone for approval to be something to sell to either businesses or whoever would like to purchase one as a small fundraiser to help fund their cause. Is there any questions about that? All right, so I make the motion to accept that drawing of the sticker for the DEI. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ister.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Abstain.
Martina.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. We got, all right. No.
Oh, Reichner, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I thought you said it.
I thought I did. I'm sorry.
All right, moving on, Councilman Barnhart.
Yes.
You're up.
I make a motion to hire Eugenia Calder, new clerk, part-time, pending her background checks. Make that a motion.
Second.
Reichner.
Yes.
Ister. Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
The next two, I've decided to go in a different direction, so,
No need to make that announcement, yeah.
yeah, all right.
That's good. And then keep going, Councilman Barnhart, the subdivision.
Oh, yeah, I make a motion to grant the extension request for the subdivision of 1214 Line Street.
Second.
Reichner.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. Councilman Ister, budget
Yes,
provider.
we're looking at just from calling all over the place trying to get power at a cheaper rate. We're trying to stay where we're at because the utilities are the cost of electricity. So I just want to make sure everybody aware that we are looking and we'll continue looking until we find cheapest price and we'll make a decision on the contract. Anything else there, Jeff? Okay, so, at this point in time, we're $16,000 higher than last year, so the work is
Work the magic.
work of magic.
Right.
True magic.
Thank you. Councilman Reichner.
Okay, we have outstanding bills of $111,245.95 from our general fund, $6,389.99 from liquid fuels, $351,443.59 from private grants, which was basically the work that was done on the Ready Rock wall on the other side of the river, or the other side of the river wall. They did the extension on the old WPA wall, that's what that was, the bill for that. And payroll of $60,692.65. Make a motion, we pay those bills.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Reichner.
Yes.
All right, moving on to discussion. The one thing that was added was a story walk from the Dickinson Library. Melissa said she'd like to do something down the river and also the Port Discovery. So what it is, it's a 4x4 post with a podium on it type device, and it tells a story, and it tells a part of a story, then moves on to a different part, and you kind of like walk your way through the story. And she'd like to put them for two reasons: to help, obviously gain traction for the library, to show the emphasis in reading, and also be active while you're doing it. So she'd like to put one down by the riverfront, by the amphitheater, down that way to bring more people down there, kids, and also up by Fort Discovery. So she just wanted to come to council to see if we had any questions. The Dagens team would be paying for all the different platform that we needed. It's a 4x4 post, as I said, and we could help her decide where to put them, so it's less maintenance for cutting up grass, that way they don't have to weed whack and do less maintenance around it. Amy, did I miss anything in that explanation?
I would just say that, on Melissa's behalf, mentioning the promotion of basic health and literacy. The request is for basically just man hours, maintaining around the posts. We would provide, the library would provide the posts themselves, but ask that the city would install them so that we knew everything was done properly. And then we've already gotten some grant monies from the Women's League of Voters. We're looking for additional grant monies. The approximate costs are about $5,000 per set, is my understanding. So our ask and request is approval of the installation and also assistance with the installation with materials being provided and then maintenance.
Any questions, anyone, on that? Okay, so probably like next meeting, like I said, they just want something in the form of a vote, that way, they know it was approved. And if you do have any questions, you can either reach out to Amy or Melissa at the library to get more details. Moving on, kickoff / the economic development funds, like as you know, we just finished up with the Halloween parade. Now we're working in New Year's Eve, we're putting the finishing touches on that, so New Year's Eve is ready. Now we're on to the kickoff. I just like to know if we're gonna have those funds, if you'd like to start planning that sooner rather than later. I know it's in there, it's in the budget for economic development, so I just like to know if those funds are gonna be available or not. So I know if I should start planning it, or if we're not gonna have it next year, I know, so we can.
They should be, but I would suggest you just at the next meeting, make a motion to use some of those dollars.
Okay, like I said, I just wanna bring it for discussion first, so that way people aren't saying we didn't discuss it first, so I just wanna.
This year's covered for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, no, I'm saying for next year, like I said, all this stuff, like I said, we're planning. Yeah, for the kickoff, that's why I just like to know if those funds are gonna be available, so I wanna start planning that sooner rather than later, because last year, it was a new event, we said, but I just wanna bring it up for discussion, so anyone could ask questions about those funds or the event in general.
Well, we had this discussion months ago, we talked about
Right,
putting money aside.
But I just wanted to make it official now that everyone can't say.
And as I said to you, what you gotta do is make a notation in the budget, or, do something that's gonna have that money earmarked for you, so you can have it.
If it's part of the budget, it's not.
We're in a budget season now.
Okay.
That's when you should do it.
Okay, I'll put it in for the next budget meeting, so you're marking that stuff. Thank you. All right, moving on, Councilman Ister.
Yes, we're still using the old time cards, and we want to update that procedure. Just been working on different systems. One thing we're looking at, which is in before, use your fingerprint. So think about it, we're not sold in any one style, but we want to upgrade. It's time that we move into the modern age thing.
Yeah.
And, Mr. Minister, yes, there's a thing called Paylocity, which is really good. Maybe you want to look at
And
that,
would
Jim.
please mention that to Jeff.
And looking at that, they actually take care of the payments. So basically, you log in or you use biometrics, you can do it either way with them. They also take care of all payroll functions. They will make the direct deposits for you. So that's something that's just eliminated altogether.
Everything the other, that's another step. You take that.
Well, but there's a lot, and, as we're talking about that, overtime is an issue, and how we do overtime, or, how it should be done.
That's something that's been discussed, but right now, only I brought up.
We're just looking at options on the table.
We want to
Yeah.
replace a new system.
Any questions on that, anyone? I said, I just want to know if anyone had any questions in general about it. All right, we're good. Councilman Barnhart?
It was brought up to me about having a Sunbury Heritage Days. I talked to Jody Hawkins, Slade Shrek, and they're trying to incorporate that in with the SRI's Riverfest. Maybe changing the name of Riverfest to Sunbury Heritage Days, go back, because it used to be like that back,
Before my time.
yeah. And they got away from it, so I was talking to Jody, they said about getting back to it. We're gonna have a meeting on November 16th at 6 o'clock here at City Hall in the conference room to try to get the SRI and see what we can come up with. So if anybody's interested, they can attend that meeting.
Awesome. Any questions, anyone on that? All right, moving on to announcements here. Tomorrow is the third one-on-one with the Sunbury police officer. That'll be held at Pine and 2nd Street from 5 to 7. The Goodwills / Hawkins Chevrolet will hold a trunk or treat October 26th at the Beiter's parking lot from 6 to 8 p.m. The hallway of treats will be taking place here at City Hall on October 27th from 12 to 4. The kids do have off that day, if anyone's wondering. Dashing with Kindness is having their trunk or treat at the James Ice Skating Rink on October 27th from 6 to 8, so you can go from one sugar high to the next one. The Sunbury Police Trunk or Treat will be taking place on the riverfront Friday the 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. Yeah, Saturday. Yep, sorry. Trick or Treat will be taking place in the city of Sunbury on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. The next city council meeting will be held here at City Hall on November 13th at 6 p.m. 6:15. Santa parade and the tree lighting ceremony will take place on November 24th. The parade starting at 6 and the lighting at 6:30. Is there any public comment at this time?
Before we go to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we want to schedule another budget?
Yes. So I'll make, so the next budget meeting will be November 13th here at City Hall at 5 p.m. I'll have Jeff put that on in the daily item also. Any other announcements by anyone up here? All right, now is there public comment? Is there any public comment? Please state your name, ma'am.
Lillian Reeder, I'd like to know, and I'm sure you have your own system, but I've never understood how you hire a chief of police. Now Travis is acting now.
Correct.
Does that come to him automatically, or how do you do this?
So there's different criteria. So there's the police hiring matrix, along with the different other policies that are in there. So I'm following that policy in there, and that's how, I'm not saying myself, but the mayor has the power to appoint the police chief. And then council has to approve of the contract that takes place for the chief, if that makes sense.
So you don't necessarily have to go outside?
That is not necessary now. Like I said, I can if I choose to, but it's not necessary.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name.
Victoria Rosencrantz. What salary was the code person hired at?
$14.50 an hour,
$14.50 an hour.
part-time, 32 hours a week.
Thank you. When they were voting on the DEI sticker thing, you abstained. Was that for a conflict of interest, or why was there an abstention for the DEI sticker?
I don't feel DEI is needed. I think there is enough diversity. I think people are all getting along, and there's enough diversity, equality, and inclusion. I have not heard any police reports about any kind of harassment or anything, and I really don't see the,
So you don't feel that we need equity in our city?
I think it's already here.
I would have to disagree with you on that, and so will many of the citizens in this city. So what I would encourage you, Mr. Barnhart, to do is really look up DEI, and I'm gonna add one more letter to that, belonging. So for a councilman to say that we do not need diversity, equity.
I said it's already here. I didn't say it wasn't needed. I said it's already
It's
here.
not already in our city, sir, it's not, and I will produce you statistics as to it not being here. But thank you for your answer. I'm sure the citizens will enjoy that answer.
Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, ma'am.
Lindy Lloyd. I think it's really funny, this is just a comment, it's not a question for you guys, this is public comment. For some reason, for Vicky to be so
Guys, we're not
upset-
going back and forth.
I'm not going back and forth, I'm making a comment, you said it's a public comment.
Yes.
I'm just making a comment. My comment is, I think it's really funny for Vicky to be upset about this, when just a year ago, she was really fighting with the DEI and wasn't a part of it and didn't feel it was needed either, and I've had many talks with her about it, so it's really weird. But I do have a question. What has the DEI committee, what have they done in the last 2 years? to help with diversity and inclusion and equality in the city? Just a question. What have they done? I know they had a food truck festival, but what else have they done? to help
I
with
know the
diversity?
office has been trying to get English as a second language learners here, to try to get some English classes into City Hall here. I know that kind of got on hold there because the person was gonna do it, fell through because they retired from I think it was from the position.
Wasn't that the CSIU that was doing
Yeah, he was partnering with them to try to get classes.
that? But they were doing that already before.
I'm just saying what was supposed to be done. I don't know the logistics behind
Okay,
it.
but I didn't ask what was supposed to be done. I asked what have they done in 2 years?
That's what I'm saying that we were trying to do. Now, like I said, other things have fallen through. I know Andres works with Derek on that, so maybe he can speak more about it, so I'm just saying what I know.
It's nothing personal against him. This isn't a personal attack on anybody. I'm just saying that I agree, like, it's a committee that they haven't really done anything in 2 years, so I feel like maybe we're getting upset about things. Maybe this is start trouble and not really because.
We're gonna see the statistics, I'd like to see them produced.
Well, also at the same
I would
time,
like you to answer my emails that I sent you.
hold on, guys, also with the committee, if someone is not happy with the committee, they're more than welcome to volunteer and help improve the committee. And all, not just the DEI, but any committee in the city of Sunbury, anyone is more than more than welcome to volunteer and try to make it better for the betterment of our citizens. Because let's remember, these committees are for the betterment of our citizens and our community. Any other public comment at this time?
So I will
Hold
address.
on. Is there any other public comment at this time? All right.
I would like to answer Ms. Lloyd's question as far as what has the DEI office done. When I was under there as a co-diversity officer with Mr. Andre Manresa, I and Mr. Manresa have completed a Cornell University course on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Also that I did was I took the State Police Citizens Academy because I was a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer, co-officer for the city of Sunbury. And I took that course so that we could bridge the gap between our citizens and the police department so that I could learn what it was like to be a state police officer. So I completed that course when I was a DEI officer for 4 months. Now, at no point in time did I ever say that we don't need diversity, equity, and inclusion. What I said was is that unfortunately I resigned because there was an issue with Mr. Manresa, which I have all of the emails that were not answered to me. I was being ghosted. That is why I resigned as a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer, because he was not working with me. So that is the first time I've said that out loud, and it seems, here's the thing, is that when people are speaking the truth, and people are coming forward and asking questions or whatever, then that becomes an issue and they get attacked. Okay, so I will gladly get those statistics from you from the United Way, and Adrian Mail and all of those folks of the United Way, they can produce those statistics, as the state of Pennsylvania can produce those statistics. So I'll get those for you,
All right.
because I do have follow-through.
And you have them statistics, what did the DEI do about those statistics?
Excuse me?
What did the diversity, equality, inclusion, you said you have
Diversity,
all those,
equity, and inclusion.
well, you said you have all
DEI.
those statistics.
I said I will get you
Well, I
statistics.
know, but you said you have
I
them.
didn't get to accomplish much in 4 months when nobody would work with me, and council didn't support me either. That's why I resigned. So please don't point a finger back at me when no one here held him accountable. Mr. Backer, how many times did he not show up for a meeting? A lot. A lot. Okay? So I'll produce those things.
That
It's
can answer my
black
question.
and
All right.
white.
So is there any other public comment at this time? You guys can argue it out later. Is there any public comment at this time? All right, adjourn this meeting.
Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me.